Mr. Paula. Yes. The question regarding 1993 removal of Glendora program. Glendora, would you restate the question?
Surely. Did you take Glendora's TV program off TV in 1993?
Well, this was the subject of a brief litigation where the program was removed from the air, and a court did tell us to put that back, but that court's decision was overruled. Your program, though, is still on the air today.
Well, you're wrong that it was overruled, Mr. Foreman. Thank you, Mr. Dolan. That's the end of my questions.
Thank you, Glendora. And just a little side note, today is, you might know, is the history of D-Day,
Yes.
the invasion of Europe, and I believe that your husband, Franklin, who
Oh, how nice.
participated in D-Day.
How nice.
Okay, we have time for additional questions. Yes.
I don't know if you caught that or not, that Mr. Dolan, James Dolan, noted that today was D-Day, the invasion of Europe in 1994, and that Franklin Buell, Glendora's husband, was in D-Day, and therefore all of the people applauded.
My name is Robert Goldberg. I'm a shareholder. I'm also involved in public access. I just wanted to make a couple of remarks relating to the action of board members as well as the Dolan. The policy of public access by Cablevision has been antagonistic or hostile. I hope that will change. What you said about holding many public meetings and even gave us a chance to record some of them and show them on public access to let the population of Long Island have a better idea that that resort exists for their use. But at the same time, you've antagonized at least 3 towns out on the east end of Long Island to the point that they're sending me letters rejecting your new policies. One lawsuit has been initiated as a result of the new policies, and a second is pending. And I don't think for the long-term good of either Long Island or Cablevision that that's a good state of affairs. So I think you should be aware of it and do what you can to understand why the lawsuits are there, why the town board voted to reject your rules. There was a certain amount of arrogance in the company's behavior. The rules were not even submitted to municipalities or the Public Service Commission in a timely fashion. And those franchising authorities have the right, in some cases, to reject your changing of any rules affecting public access. So I think attention should be paid to the situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Reynolds. I'm a chairman.
Another shareholder inquired about Madison Square Garden, and James Dolan gave a long and interesting answer to that. Another public access producer, Charles Galkin, pressed the company about the improvements they should make in public access. And here is James Dolan's response to that. Galkin talks very genteelly and very quietly, and so there's no recording of that.
And the public access question is one that is complicated and difficult, and certainly we could spend a great deal of time here with it. However, this is probably not an appropriate forum for it. We will, by the way, have after the meeting a forum available for all those who wish to discuss public access. I would like to say, though, in response to the points you're bringing up, that essentially, at least in my own view, that public access represents a forum for the community. The problem is that, of course, is that we're, unlike in some other areas, we're operating in the number one market, the most crowded market in the United States. And the same bandwidth that serves Sioux City, Iowa, can also serve the city of, the area of New York. It becomes a more difficult problem. But with the advent of digital, I would hope that we'd be able to alleviate that problem, provide more public forums for all of our community. In addition, that the technology that goes along with the internet, and the internet itself,
Last year.
should help alleviate the constriction on the resources that you bring up. And I know that all of us want to avail themselves of public access here. But we certainly don't want to have the issue of limited resources. And we don't want to have those who want to use our facility as that public forum. We do have limited resources. We're doing the best that we can with it. We certainly can always do better. And I do think that the technology will help alleviate it.
All of the noise is because, in the meantime, I am up at the back where James Dolan said the shareholders list was, both of them, where the shareholders lists were, and I'm up at the back trying to find them. And so I'm looking at some of the things in the Class A shareholders, which is a reasonable book, computer printouts, and then I don't see any Class B shareholders list. So I have to ask for it. And a woman there who turned out to be Sellhouse said had to ask for it herself. And guess where it came from? You know, the independent election inspectors that James Dolan appointed, okay, up in the back on the table? Guess where this sheriff came from? He opens his stack of papers like this, okay? He pulls out the Class B shareholders, and guess what? It's one page. It's one page. Guess what the Class B shareholders consists of? Entirely of Dolans. And this is why they have hidden it from us for so long. For 2 years, they have hidden it from us. And so I finally find out what the Class B shareholders list is. It's a list of Dolans. Now, let me see if there's anything else to
members of the community and to use the video as a means of doing that. So that's only good for the company and good for the community, and we certainly would want to promote it. Difficult now that as you all know who are here who are involved with public access in managing a limited resource. Certainly encouraging more use of the limited resource isn't going to help us manage it any better. I need to move on to any other questions. Yes, sir.
My name is James Petty. I'm a stockholder. There are a significant number of towns out of Suffolk County that really don't have the cable modem service, and I was interested to know what seems to be holding up the process of getting that rolled out.
One shareholder asked the question, Charles Dolan, why did you put him over there? And let's see if I can play this for you.
They did exceed our expectations in terms of the budget. And so overall, I would say that we're pleased with the financial condition of the company. Mr. Dolan.
Charles Dolan. Why did you put him over there?
He sits wherever he wants.
Most people like me, we know him when we were young, and we would like to still see him. And wherever fight with him, this is on Huntington Town Hall. By the way, my name is Philip Migliaccio, and
I'm a shareholder of a cable business. I've been following your company. I've been reading your financial reports. I have to compliment you that you're doing acquisition left and right. So you find everything inside, whatever it is. The only thing is most of my house.
He said he's been following the company for a number of years, and they buying everything. He says, you bought everything except my house. And his point was, why does the company keep losing money? When is this company going to make money?
Mr. Dolan, just wanted to comment that D-Day was a snap compared to what I put him through in 45 years.
Franklin, are you still in the bunker? Okay. I am advised that the preliminary report of the inspectors has been delivered to the Secretary. Mr. Lemley, will you please announce the results of the vote?
The preliminary report indicates that Charles T. Ferris, Richard H. Hockman, Victor Orizano, and Vincent Teasy received the greatest number of votes from the holders of Class A stock. And then William J. Bell, Charles F. Dolan, James L. Dolan, Patrick F. Dolan, Thomas C. Dolan, Robert F. Lindley, Sheila A. Mahoney, Daniel E. Summers, and John Tata received the greatest number of votes from the holders of Class B common stock. Stockholders also authorized and approved the appointment of KPMG LLP as auditors for the year 2000 by more than a majority of the votes cast. Stockholders rejected the shareholder proposal by more than a majority of the votes cast.
You have heard the results of the voting, and that completes the business to be conducted at this meeting. As there are no further matters to come before the meeting, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion carried. I hereby declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you for your interest and attendance.
After the annual meeting, a shareholder came up and congratulated me and said, good job. And he says, welcome to the Dolan family reunion. And on the way out, John Tata went by me and he said, thank you for inquiring about my health. Public access managers were there. Mark Shukin was there, the vice president, and Mark Shukin's boss, Bedell, and Thomas Garger was there.
This is Franklin Buell, and after the meeting that you've just heard about, I went down to see James Dolan and said that it was thoughtful of him to mention my name, to connect that with the date, which was D-Day, and thanked him and said, of course, you weren't just talking to me, you were talking about everybody who was there, and that was a lot of people. And then he called his father over, and Charles Dolan came, and I thanked him, and he recalled that on D-Day he was working for a small radio station in Cleveland, and he recalled the mood of the day after the announcement had come that and Charles Dolan recalled the mood of the day after the reports had told of the invasion during the night. And he was then working for a small radio station near Cleveland, in Cleveland, and told of the reaction of the people and the subdued mood of the people. Thank you.
Well, didn't you tell me that Charles Dolan said that many people went to church?
Yes, he said yes, and that's what he was doing as the radio station representative. He went and reported some of the spontaneous church gatherings that happened.
Now, that is really a good and plenary report of the annual meeting of Cablevision. At the end, Mark Shukin and saw to it that Tom Geiger and Mike O'Neill helped Franklin out and down to the first floor, and it was just pouring cats and dogs. The weather was really wet, and so they got an umbrella for him, and they got a shuttle bus for him to take him from the bay of the great big building over to the parking lot to his car. And so that's how the annual meeting ended. I have a audio tape to play for you.
Yeah. Take down your thing.
9:12 a.m. Saturday, 9:54 a.m. Hi, this is Ron, and I just wanted to say that I love the show on cable access, and I missed a few episodes at the beginning, as a matter of fact, and I'm just curious to know how the whole Bruiser Ken situation started, exactly what he did to violate the rights of you and your husband. So I'd like to know that, if it's not too personal. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to watching the show next week.
No number.
Saturday.
Ron.
He beat us up in the Uniondale courthouse. He went insane. He inflicted 6 bruises on me, and he socked Franklin in the jaw and knocked him over. That's the horrendous thing that Bruiser Ken did, and he's paying for it this day, and he's going to pay for it the rest of his life until he atones and stops fleeing.
Today,
Ron.
9:58 a.m. Hi, this is Ted Tyne. I'd like to know what was the significance of the red, white, and black shoeboxes in your last episode. It was the May 11th, 2000 Anno Domini episode.
You ought to play those things. See how silly those are.
9 a.m.
Right?
You go, Glendora, you're the best. I'll tell you, I enjoy your show. Keep suing all of them crooks. Thank you very much, Glendora. My name is Warren. My phone number is 476-1550.
That's Warren.
Saturday, 10.
476-1550. He said his name. What joke? What's the joke? When you were there?
Somebody called and said that they were being, a woman called and said she was being racially discriminated against, and left her number at 516. There's some more conversations for you too.
can get rid of that. I'll have...
And how they're using these so-called 10th grades. I'm going to talk about Harold Levy.
Give him 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
I'll call you in 10 minutes.
In the witchcraft in the public school system. And how they're
Harold
using
Levy,
these
witchcraft,
10th grade
public
is
schools.
nothing more than witchcraft. It's like reading tea leaves.
Reading
The
tea
only
leaves.
thing they call them statistics and first grade performance and third grade performance and that sort of thing. And what they're really doing is just, it's all part of the same lies of conscript the mind and enslave the body. And this is what they're doing in the public schools. They're doing it in the, and we get more of it on the outside from the judges. It's just a paradigm. They follow the same paradigm in school as they do in the court.
Okay.
So, all right, I'll talk to you in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that, and if I don't call you in 10 minutes, please...
Okay, I woke up this morning and let's hope that I stay awake the rest of the day.
Now, Gene, what is it you want to talk to us about today?
Well, I want to point out that this other hoax of the public education system by being perpetrated by the media together with this Harold Levy. Now, Harold Levy, I'm sure he's a great guy and he's got a lot of things that he's done and a lot of things that he wants to do, but education is not what he's about as in the job that he was selected for as chancellor. The schools in our system do not educate. What they do is they condition. They condition people to according to protocols of witchcraft that were put into place at the beginning of the century when the principle of when the concept of compulsory state-supported education was put into place. Now, it was put into place with the idea that certain people the schools would be used to enslave these people mentally, and then they would be to conscript their minds under the concept that they were being educated. So what they did was they gave them bait, and they said, this is public education. But it wasn't public education. It was public conditioning for the enslavement of their bodies in various positions of inferiority that was nothing more than a metaphor of chattel slavery that was still in place, notwithstanding the enactment of the 13th Amendment and the post-Civil War amendments of the Civil Rights Amendments. And of course, this is what Mr. Harold Levy is doing. So what does he do? He understands this. He's not stupid. So he comes along and he says, well, we've got to use testing. Now, testing is nothing more than witchcraft. The only thing, it's like tea leaves. They read the same way they read black marks on paper, pencil marks on paper. It's just like reading tea leaves. It's no different than or the position of the stars, whatever branch of astrology or witchcraft that you want. This is what they apply in school. And of course, as long as these bureaucrats get their pay and their increases and their salaries, they're completely happy to conscript the minds and enslave the bodies of the youngsters, the future generations who come before them. And this is what, and of course, the people tolerate it. And now Mr. Levy understands it, because you see he's got a sort of a mischievous smile when he talks about it. He says, well, we've got good news. It looks like we've got good news because we're consistent in our inability to do what we're supposed to do. And this is what we're paying this guy $200,000 a year or more in order to continue the foisting this hoax of so-called public education on the people of the state of New York, especially in the cities institutionalized witchcraft, which is nothing more than, which is a metaphor or a paradigm of a non-denominational religion. Religion, after all, isn't much different than witchcraft, and this is exactly why history has brought about. In our history, we understand why so many people who claimed that their activities were religiously inspired were actually prosecuted and murdered as witches. And we have that in the Salem witch trial, which started out as a hoax, and then the hoax got into the hands of the local prosecutors and the local elders of the parish, and they had to have people to fall apart. So they ended up on a reign of terror, and they murdered possibly hundreds of supposed witches. Now we haven't murdered any yet, until, of course, we have our share of that. The police brutality takes care of the institutionalized system of murder, getting rid of these people who are not allowed the freedoms to live, like the Owl and Doris Mund and the hundreds of others that have been murdered, systematically murdered by the police, and they have the murder. The reign of murder is tolerated by people who love Mr. Giuliani and Mr. Faza. Anyway, getting down to it, this man is nothing more in the educational system. He's not educating. He's just running another his version of modern witchcraft in the educational mold, and it should be exposed rather than encouraged. And what is regrettable, of course, is that he gets the support of the media. The media just loves this because they love to entertain the public with vignettes of vignettes born in frustration by the parents as well as some of the teachers who mean well, but don't have the courage or the knowledge to understand that they are victims of institutionalized witchcraft. And of course, I think that's the best way to handle it is to outlaw these so-called tests. A university up in New England has outlawed the SAT test as requirement for entry into their system. The name of the was
Mount
reported
Holyoke.
yesterday. It just
It's a college. I don't think it's a university.
But sooner or later, we will put the
South Hadley, Massachusetts.
statistical witchcraft in its place and get rid of public parasites like Harold Levy and his cohorts.
Okay, what kind?
Who lives in Port Jefferson, is going to send out a series of letters showing how the municipalities are opposed to the Cablevision Public Access Kit. And here's a report of that.
Was there something I should have done previously?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I just didn't want to be remiss.
No, I don't think
Also
so.
intending to send out a collection of letters from various supervisors of towns expressing their indignation over Cablevision's actions. I'm going to file this as a kind of amicus brief.
Where?
With the court.
Well, you're not an amicus. You are a plaintiff. You're more than... So what you do, yeah, that's good.
I can submit it then as evidence.
Yes.
I'm not a lawyer, so I just used that term amicus. Right.
No, you're not an amicus. You're above that.
Yeah.
Because you're actually a plaintiff. No, I think that's good. Send that to me. And then the next legal paper that we have to answer, I'll attach it as an exhibit. They will not take a freestanding paper.
Uh-huh.
It has to be attached to a motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And then I will attach that as an exhibit. That's excellent. That's superb.
Yeah, also, I spoke with John Figliosi of the Public Service Commission. He was in negotiations with Cablevision, raising issues because he's gotten very busy suddenly as a result of the pressures that have been brought to bear by us. He was negotiating with Cablevision, and my understanding is that they've waived the July 1st deadline, but only in Riverhead because the 5 Eastern Town supervisors were up in arms. So now we're bringing more pressure to bear. We're going to go before the Brookhaven supervisor with regard to their activities in the town of Brookhaven, plus the Suffolk County Consumer Protection Committee has been not holding hearings, but we've made testimony before the Consumer Protection Committee, and we're hoping that the county will be able to step in as a municipality and exercise some oversight as to their conformity with state regulations.
Very good.
And hooray, hooray, hooray. Now, can I play that on television that you just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to go? That's terrific news all around. Are you going to go to the Public Service Commission meeting with Figliosi on next Tuesday, the 13th, in White Plains?
I called him about that, and I'll see. The point was, I had called Shay in the Public Service Commission and raised a complaint with regard to the need for open public meetings under the state law. And Figliosi responded, gave me a call, and told me that he would be willing to appear before the Suffolk County Consumer Protection Committee to respond. He also said that he would respond if we submitted written complaints as to what we find is wrong, that he would respond to those written complaints. But he wasn't going to take the time and trouble to go through all of the contracts and so on and send us a list of what he felt was wrong with the contract, that he was in ongoing negotiations with Cablevision because of ambiguities and loopholes within the state law, the regulations of the PSC and so on, that, it was a question of interpretation. So he didn't feel that obligated under the open meeting law to have us sitting in on all or any or all of the meetings that he was conducting with Cablevision. So as far as that White Plains meeting is concerned, I'm wondering if we show up as to whether we will be admitted. Do you know?
Oh, we certainly will be.
We will be.
And not only that, we will be given breakfast and we will be given lunch.
Oh, okay.
The food is delicious.
Alrighty, so I'll bear that in.
Oh, absolutely you will be.
Yeah.
You absolutely will be.
I have the information. You said Public Service Commission, Crown Plaza. Crown Plaza, White Plains.
Yes.
At 8:30.
Yes.
In the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
And all day.
Bob Goldberg.
Say that they were not going to go through with this on July 1st? No, they did not. What they said, they are revising it. They're going to try and have it revised by July 1st. They're not telling anybody, that the original was illegal and poor. And, they just, why should they make it any better for us than they have to? I'm serious. I mean, that's their strategy, is to, discourage as many as they can. There's no question about that. What's their motive? Oh, I think they, want to prohibit and limit, public access. They don't want public access. Yeah, for what reason? Pass me that notebook, Franklin, please. For what reason,
Here, let me put this into the tape recorder. It was made.
One reason? One reason is they can charge money when there's no public access on.
I didn't hear you. They can charge what?
They can charge anybody who wants to be on the channel. They can make revenue from it. But number two, they want control. They feel it's, the way, what Former said? He said that the channel is a free speech issue, but the facilities for production and editing, those are out of the goodness of their heart.
Oh, no.
Okay, I have a reporter from a journal in Washington called me up. He got a statement from them which says, Cablevision provides public access to the community as a public service.
Charles Former's wrong about everything.
Their attitude is that they're doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. So, well, why, not that it's
I never knew Charles Former to be right.
Obligation, not that, that it's a consideration in their agreement with the municipality, but,
Well, is this propaganda? Is this Cablevision propaganda?
I guess so. They're not on there. They haven't taken an oath. Their public relations person's getting paid well to lie for them.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what they do all the time. Okay, so there's two reasons. They want control. I think they want to redefine public access as local origination. I heard from a producer in Great Neck who sometimes, is shown on Shirley Bruno's system.
And they put her show on local origination.
All right, they cut through to be shown throughout the Blueberry.
Folks, I told the church, a joke in church, that I've never told you. So I will play it for you. This is the minister talking at the council.
Who means the Christian faith and regardless of the specific background or orientation. Michelle, for instance, and Julia are not United Methodists, they are Roman Catholics.
School in Buffalo at the S.A. Delaware Methodist Church, and it was at noontime. And the kids from school would come in at noontime at lunchtime, and we would have church school. And one day I couldn't be there, and Miss Nancy, the secretary, was out running errands for the minister, and so she wasn't there, and it happened to be the ladies' day, and they were going in and out, and this one little child came, and nobody was there to help him. So finally Nancy came and got there, and she always started with a prayer, and the little boy said, "Thank you, God, for the sun. Thank you, God, for the moon. Thank you, God, for the stars. Thank you, God, for Miss Nancy, who's late."
This is the minister talking at the council.
Who means the Christian faith and regardless of the specific background or orientation. Michelle, for instance, and Julia are not United Methodists, they are Roman Catholics.
School in Buffalo at the S.A. Delaware Methodist Church, and it was at noontime. And the kids from school would come in at noontime at lunchtime, and we would have church school. And one day I couldn't be there, and Miss Nancy, the secretary, was out running errands for the minister, and so she wasn't there, and it happened to be the ladies' day, and they were going in and out, and this one little child came, and nobody was there to help him. So finally Nancy came and got there, and she always started with a prayer, and the little boy said, "Thank you, God, for the sun. Thank you, God, for the moon. Thank you, God, for the stars. Thank you, God, for Miss Nancy, who's late."
Now, right after I came home from church, we came down the hutch and then turned onto the cross county, and at exit 8 there was a car, a white car, pulled off to the side of the road, and I saw one individual. And you always have to ask yourself in those cases, do you stop or don't you stop? Well, did I? What did I do? Did I stop or did I not stop? Okay, I stopped. And it was a woman alone, and she had no partner, and I had assumed that the partner had gone on to get help, but no, she was alone, and she had a cell phone, and she was crying, and she was hot, and it was 91 degrees, and there was no shade. There was grass, but the trees were pretty far off. And she said, I have been calling the police for an hour, and they won't come. Well, she had been telling them to go, that she was on the hutch, and it's easy enough to think that. And that she was at exit 9, and it's easy enough to think that, but she was on the cross county at exit 8, and they were looking for her. However, that does not explain the fact that a policeman came to her and said that he would be right back, and it had been at least 20-30 minutes, and he never came back. These are the Westchester County Police. Finally, 3 cruisers came. One of the police said the wrong thing. He said, our major concern is to get the car off the highway. Well, that's a terrible thing. The woman had told me to go on, not to bother, to go on. But there was something I had to know, that that woman was going to be all right. It turns out that she had been to Orange, Connecticut on I-95, and she was coming back to Manhattan. She lived in Manhattan, up in the 70s. And I had to know that that woman was going to be all right. So the police had called a tow truck. I said, where are you going to tow the car? Well, I don't know. We don't know. And how are you going to take care of this woman? And so time went by, and nobody was doing anything about solving the 2 problems of taking care of the car and taking care of the woman. And so I said, look, her name is Lynn Ackerman. I said, Lynn, why don't you get in our car, and I'll have your tow truck with your car follow us, and I will take you to my garage, man, and I will make sure that your car is on private property where it will be safe, and nobody will touch it. And then I says, then we can take you to the railroad station. Oh, no, I won't go on the train. I won't go on the train. I want my cab driver to come up from Manhattan. I said, well, that would make a very long wait for you. Why don't you have a cab go from here? And so that's what we did. It was county towing. It was a beautiful red tow truck, all polished up and shiny, like a fire truck. And the driver was Ronnie, and we went 3.5 miles. And I took her to Frank Massarelli's at the corner of North Avenue and Union Street in New Rochelle. And we parked the car safely in a nice place so that he could work on it in the morning. This was Sunday, of course, as I've told you. But you know, and then we drove Lynn to the railroad station, waited to make sure that she got a cab, and she got a Bluebird cab that would take her to Manhattan. The tow was not bad. It was $59. We've had them up to $120. And the cab fare was $35 to Manhattan, and she gave the driver another $10. So she landed home safely. And also I was worried for her health, you know, that she would have sunstroke because she was getting beat red with that burning sun. Okay. So really, I could not have passed that woman by and ever had any peace the rest of my life, knowing that I did not stay there and see that she was all right and that her car was all right. What would have happened to her? Going on to the next report now, folks. Folks, this is the omnibus motion. And it's 100 pages long. And it consists of, it's a notice of omnibus motion by plaintiffs for one summary judgment in their favor as a matter of law. You see, Cablevision defendants did not refute any of the charges, so therefore there's no dispute of facts. And so therefore we should have a summary judgment as a matter of law. To a motion for Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 11 sanctions of $2,300,000 on Robert M. Callaghy and upon Richard Kuhlman and upon all of the Cablevision defendants, James Dolan, through Satterley, Stevens, Burke, and Burke, for misrepresentations to the court, together with an order enjoining Group 1 defendants and Callaghy and Kuhlman from filing any further papers fraudulent and frivolous like theirs of May 27, 2000, for an order denying defective and bogus motion to dismiss with no return date, and 5 is inter alia. And so this is a big paper. This is Part A. All of the reasons, it's very, very long to read, but all of the reasons that the crooked defendants, all of the bad things that they have done, and why all of that relief should be granted. Part B is a refutation of their lack of notice of motion with no return date. Part C is a refutation of every line of Callaghy, Kuhlman lying and misrepresentation to the court. Part C. And Part D is a refutation of Callaghy's so-called affidavit. And E is a refutation of Former's so-called affidavit. See how it's in this print one page and it's this print on the other page. It's really sloppy job that they did. And here is the wherefore, and we put that in lavender. Wherefore plaintiffs have shown amply in their parts A, B, C, D, and E that all of the relief sought in their omnibus motion and in their complaint must be granted together with the costs of this action and all further relief just and proper. Dated June 7th, 2000, Glendora, and this was sent to all of the other plaintiffs to sign. We included in here the very, very hard work of Paul Spara, who researched and printed an index and comment, PEG access rules, access use application, public inspection form, requests for public inspection, public access field equipment agreement, access user agreement, access policies and procedures, access program funding release, access programming personal release form, summary of information resources, Federal Communications Commission cable television fact sheet, State of New York Department of Public Service cable television minimum standards for public educational and government access, New York State Cable Commission rules of public access, federal and state law regarding cable companies' liability for public educational and governmental access. What a great job Paul Spira did. He was another public access coordinator who did wonderful things in public access, and because he did that, he was fired by Cablevision. Steve Laurie, the hero of public access in Riverhead for all those years, he gave his entire life to it. He was the hero, the public access hero, but because he did a good job for public access, he got fired by Cablevision. It also included a proxy statement. All righty, we're moving on to the next bulletin. Hoskins is out as a plaintiff. I saw him yesterday when he came in to do his program while I was editing at Lindbergh, and I asked him if he had sent in the papers yet. He says, no, I haven't. He says, I meant to call you about that. Well, that's just fine. He thinks the court's going to wait forever. And he says, a lawyer told me that a pro se cannot bring a class action. And I said to him, what lawyer? And it's a lie. And there isn't an action in the United States of America that a pro se cannot bring. And as far as a class action goes, simply read Federal Rules of Civil Procedures 23.1. Simply read it. There's nothing in there that says that a pro se cannot bring a class action. So I decided right then and there that I didn't think he should be a plaintiff, and he decided the same for himself. So Hoskins is out. And he hasn't paid for any of the postage or any of the printing or any of the filing fee. When people start believing that a lawyer is telling the truth, they're pretty far gone. Texaco Equal Opportunity Task Force. As a settlement, and the case should never have been settled in Roberts versus Texaco, Texaco agreed to have a task force that would regulate non-retaliation, that would regulate non-discrimination, that would regulate all these things that can't be regulated. You can't litigate a person to be non-retaliatory. So, on this task force, there's the DeVal L. Patrick, the chairman, John J. Gibbons, Jefflin Johnson, Alan Crow, Marie J. Matsuda, and Louis G. Nogales, and Thomas S. Williamson, Jr. Well, who are these people? Where did they come from? Who appointed them? What qualifies them? How much are they getting paid? How much of shareholders' tax money are they, shareholders' dividend money are they getting paid? And it's interesting to note that when you go through these books, this is a 1997 book, and I went through it, folks, and I annotated it all the way through. This was just a little one because this is when it first started. And it's interesting to know that the chairman of the task force, who's supposed to be objective about Texaco, that was a job he was given by the court, ends up becoming their chief counsel. You expect that his reports were objective about Texaco? Was he telling the truth about Texaco's diversity program? And here is the book for 1998. Now, it's obvious to me that they are being quite obsequious to Texaco, and that we have here another hoax, just as we had in Merdler's awarding the plaintiff's attorneys in the Texaco derivative action $1 million in attorney's fees. It's just another court hoax. It's another hoax by Charles L. Bryant. And here is the 1999 book. It took $52 to print this, post it, and to serve it. The Texaco ones were served personally. And I'm looking for the number of hours, 19 3/4 hours, to read all these and to annotate them and point out the facts that they weren't kidding anybody but themselves. The total Texaco hours and dollars spent on their law breaking is 1,063 3/4 hours times $250 an hour. Pro se fee, $265,937.50 in legal labor. 1,900 pages, 7 volumes, 1 file drawer, 2 years, 3 months, and 3 weeks of Texaco law breaking. Refusing to show a shareholder the books, records, and minutes. Whose company is this? Who owns the company? The shareholder and the owners of the company don't get to see the books, records, and minutes. And Bajur and his tribe violate New York State Business Corporation law. There have been 10 TV reports, 60 mailings, and 800 lies by Texaco, Bajur, and their board, and the people that they have brainwashed working for them. So that's the Texaco Equal Opportunity Task Force, and that's its significance. ALR has some judges and lawyers they want you to look out, protect yourself against. They have nominations to date for the worst judges and lawyers. Jeffrey C. Daniels, Esquire, and his staff of Nassau attorneys for the Conciliation Committee, which claims to arbitrate fee disputes involving the public and Nassau attorneys. Barry J. Gross, Esquire, of the firm of Parola, Gross, and Marino, who has so many complaints of overbilling to cover up their mistakes. And here is a more recent bulletin from the Americans for Legal Reform. And they want information on the following lawyers: John Powell, Patrick McCarthy. Do you have any information on any of these lawyers? Michael Walsh, Dominic Barbara, Robert Broderick, Michael Rubenfeld, Alan Olinsky, Stephen Jelinek, Glenn N. Cajelo, K-A-K-A-J-L-O, Warren Hamburger, Michael Fury, Jacob Worse, W-O-R-S-S-E, Jay Wallman, Jack Hollenberg, Stephen Shapiro, Michael Chekhov, and the following judges: Blydenberg, they want information on them; John Dunn, I know him to be bad; Patrick Henry, I have personal experience of that; Alpert, Trotto, C. Raymond Radigan, and ex-Judge Harwood. Here are more nominations to date for the worst judges and lawyers. Drum roll. John Navarrete, Esquire, has held his client's file ransom with the knowledge of a Judge A. Gale Prudenti. Does that make Judge Prudenti a co-conspirator? Judge John Dunn, how do litigants know if he is under the influence or not? Ex-Judge Alfred Lama is guilty of jury tampering. Want to hear the proof? Jack Hollenberg, Esquire, and his firm would defend Hitler for a few gold coins. Alan Walensky, Esquire, will steal your business if he can. Ask the Friedmans. Judge Radigan accepts campaign contributions from lawyers before him. Judge Marilyn Shapiro, Administrative Court, Glen Cove, pled not guilty to 17 misdemeanor charges for alleged mistreatment of her 11 dogs. Imagine how she treats the litigants. Elliot Epstein, Esquire, has never responded to charges. He is a fake, fraud, phony, because he is. Why does the bar protect such crooks? If you have any opinions, information, or comments on these things, you know where to call. 914-949-9495. There was so much evil that happened this week, and so much cleaning up that we had to do. I had to get up at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning to videotape. Here it is, Thursday at 11 a.m. I'm still videotaping. In between, the editing at Lindbrook was very good. It was really a great accomplishment because 4 different half-hour programs were done in between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Actually 7 p.m. Things started to deteriorate at 7 p.m. But that is quite a wonderful accomplishment and speaks very well for the Cablevision editing equipment. And for Rob Kornberg and Pat Galino, who helped me here and then. I have some jokes for you, and I think that's going to finish the videotaping, I hope, for this week. Why do firemen have a Dalmatian dog? Why do firemen have a Dalmatian dog? So the dog can go ahead of them and find the fire hydrant. And do you know what the judge said to the dentist? Do you swear to pull the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth? And the gentleman stopped at a haberdashery store and he asked the owner, may I try on that navy blue suit in the window? And the owner said, no, you'll have to use the dressing room. And a little boy said to his buddy, they're not going to grow bananas any longer. Why not? Because they're long enough already. And folks, finally, what happens to ducks when they fly upside down? They quack up. This is the closet Glendora painted. This is closet 1 in the foyer. There's 3 closets in the foyer. So there's Franklin's walker and Franklin's suitcase, and that's winter clothes, and this is winter clothes, and this is winter clothes. Extra hangers that my mother, well, not crocheted and not knitted, but wound the yarn around and made a pattern. Very, very nice. And behind all that are a whole lot of Staples copy boxes, and those are car parts, and also some winter clothes. And it took several hours to rearrange these things and get them right. Here are 2 Eureka vacuum cleaners. What's a person want with 2 Eureka vacuum cleaners? Well, the first one we bought, and it worked very well the first time, and it worked very well the second time, but we couldn't figure out how to make it work the third time. So we called Eureka for help, and they decided that they would rather just send us a new one. And they sent us the next model up, and it has a headlight. And it works beautifully. This is the foyer with a stone fireplace. And this is the rubbish that's been taken out of the closets and is going out this morning because the rubbish men come on Tuesday and Friday. Those are all hats. Those are all summer hats, I think. There might be winter hats up there. And copy cartridges. The video closet. The VHS, the 8mm archives, the VHS archives, evidence tapes, 2 camcorder 1 and camcorder 2, the 1987 ones, the little table that I take to Lynbrook to set up to put my tape jackets on, and a camcorder 3 bag, and the return box, tapes that are returned, and the box of 3/4 inch tapes, and the box in the front are the tapes for Wednesday after coming back from editing to label the 3/4 inch and label the VHS. 20 copies are made every week. 20 tapes are made every week. And behind that is an equipment box, 8mm equipment. This is closet 2 in the foyer. What's his second Eureka? Is there anybody there who's smart enough to make it work? You can have it if you want. We aren't. I'm sure it's all right because it's brand new, but we just don't know how to make it work. And the instruction book is there and all of the attachments. Got him. Oh, he did get him? Is he giving him a ticket? There's where we used to live, and I went in there today, June the 16th, looking for Casari. The front door is wide open. There aren't any flowers planted around the trees, and there's no two gardens there on the other sides of the porch. And the hall had been freshly painted white. It looked good. The stairs were still dirty. The apartment to the north on the second floor was wide open and had just been painted fresh white. It looked terrific. And the apartment that we used to have on to the south had just been painted white. And I went down through the cellar looking for Casari. The cellar looks much the same. The cellar door was unlocked. And the hole where the sewer repair was made still has not been blacktopped. It's still bare dirt. Folks, there's just so much to videotape. People are doing things that are wrong and teaching their children to do things that are wrong. And forsaking ethics and morality and responsibility and oneness with God. There's just so much to report and keep track of and try to turn out the fire. And I videotaped 2 days last week, and here I am videotaping again on the regular day Saturday, and it isn't done. And it took 4 half-hour programs last week to cover it, and we're already into the second or third one for this week. And then it takes a long time to edit it. And then it takes a long time to make an archive, and then it takes a long time to index everything, and file everything, and label everything. But there are some good things to tell you. Rusty Dog down at Boston Road and Connor Street in the Bronx. Connor Street is Columbus Avenue extension of Mount Vernon. Rusty Dog is going to have a bath, and we're going to show him to you, and we're going to try to find Rusty Dog a happy home, and he's feeling a little better. Should have gone forward, I went backwards. That's the story of my life, right? So Frank number 2 went and asked Frank number 1. This is what Frank number 2 said.
You can do it, but you have to leave the car.
Oh, leave it overnight?
No, for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll be over very shortly with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
We can do it, but you'll have to leave it. All right, it's no problem. We'll leave it. So I get over there with the car. First of all, I go down to Lee Miles Transmission and pay the bill for $552 on the 1980 Lincoln. Then we came home and we got the 1980 Lincoln and the 1993 Lincoln, and then we went to Frank A&N's. Frank number 2 wasn't there, and I told Frank number 1 that we were leaving the car to inspect it. Oh, I can't do it. But you just said over the phone you could do it. I didn't say anything. I never talked to you. I never talked to you. It turned out, after my huge disappointment, that he would not do it. And he could not do it. And we drove that car over there in 84 degrees, 8 miles, 2 drivers, 2 people, all for nothing. Now, can you explain that? The tape shows you clearly that he said it could be done, and I get over there and he says it can't be done. Now, I think the next thing to report to you is a proxy statement, and then we'll do some jokes, and then I think we're through reporting for this week. Well, the proposal for independent directors, of course, was voted down by the Dolans. And as I say, it just takes one vote, Charles Dolan vote, really, to vote everything. It's a monarchy. And now we're on page 9 of the proxy statement. And this is executive compensation. And it's a report of the Compensation Committee on Executive Compensation. The Compensation Committee has 3 members, Richard Hockman, Victor Oristano, and John Tata, none of whom are employees of the company. John Tata, the company's former president, is a consultant to the company. And he's going to be objective, isn't he, about compensation for the people who work there. A subcommittee of the Compensation Committee, the Senior Officer Compensation Subcommittee, where members are, whose members are Hockman, Oristano, but have exclusive authority and responsibility for the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit on Glendora versus Eugene H. Nickerson. That has to be dealt with. And you can pretty much awards under the company's employee stock plan and long-term incentive plan to the company's executive officers and other most senior employees. What is the word for that? It begins with I-N, right? I-N-C-E-S-T-U-O-U-S. Let us see folks, here's Gene Krasinski, and he wants to talk to you about the death penalty. Go ahead, Gene.
Well, the death penalty is wrong, not because of whether or not a given person deserves to be murdered by the state.
That's not
but because it enhances
now, how do you spell Dolan?
Of an evil cult of public servants whose only purpose.
Our goal as members of the Compensation Committee is to develop executive compensation policies and programs that are consistent with explicitly linked to
achieve
and supportive of the strategic objectives of growing the company's businesses and maximizing stockholder value. That's wonderful. How come we don't get any dividends? How come we don't get any dividends? And Glendora says this is propaganda. And Glendora says it's like the geese out on the front lawn. Mother Goose. It's Mother Goose. It's fairy tales. And it's propaganda. Propaganda. Now, if asked, you think that any of these people, any of the Dolans, or any of the people on the board, or any of the officers, if asked, could recite what they claim is their objective? Their objective is to put as much money in their pocket as possible. And greed is written all over their faces. You just study their physiognomies. That's why you must buy a share of Cablevision stock so that you can go to the annual meeting and so that you can see these people. Now, The paper that they wrote this on this year is a whole lot better than that flimsy paper that they have written it on up to now, up to this year. The four principal compensation elements are base salaries, annual incentives, long-term incentives, and benefits. Well, folks, I will read you the base salaries. They're around $1 million a year, the base salary. Have you ever earned $1 million in your life? And how long does it take you to earn, say, $30,000 a year, or $40,000 a year, or $50,000 a year, even $100,000 a year? Well, their base salary is $1 million, about $1 million a year. And their annual incentives, I say if they have to have incentives. If they're not motivated to do the job right and keep the job on merit, then let's get somebody who is. Why do we have to give them incentives? It's nothing but a cheat. It's nothing but a rationalization to put more money into their pockets. How can they do that? You know, how can they enjoy life? How can they have any peace? They think that you don't know. They think that you haven't caught on. But you have caught on. You've known for a long time. So what they say about annual incentives, executive performance incentive plan, is a complete fraud. And what they say, wait a second, and bonuses awarded to Mr. Charles Dolan, Mr. William Bell, and Mr. Robert Lemley. Now, they haven't done a thing to earn bonuses, not a thing. But they have to lie why they're stealing the money and putting it in their pocket. Why do they have to have raises in the subscriber rights? So they can have annual incentives? So they can have $1 million basic salary? Is that why they need to increase your subscriber rights? I mean your subscriber rates? Is that why? And no wonder they will not let you see the books, records, and minutes. Because they do nothing for this. Now we're on long-term incentives. We have granted stock options, restricted stock, and stock appreciation rights to executives under the employee stock plan. Now, that's the fraud that I told you about before. These stock options, they get them for $4 or $5, $7, and then they go out and sell them for $40. Any excuse to put money in their pockets. I would rather be poor and have my peace of mind and own my soul. They own everything except their souls. They are desperate to rationalize their theft, and they give the company no dividends, and they don't decrease your rates. They just increase your rates to increase the amount they go into the pocket. They don't get enough benefits. Now, if you're making $1 million a year and you have all these stock options, tell me why you can't afford to pay your own life insurance and that of your family. You do. You have to pay it. You don't have a company paying it for you. You have to pay it. And so here are these billionaires suckering subscribers and stockholders to pay their insurance benefits. Well, there's really, that is so prima facie, there's really no point in saying anything more about it. They don't earn enough to pay for their own benefits, their own life insurance. And greed is written all over their faces. And now, evaluation procedure, and Glendora says, shame on you. But I haven't shown you this week. See, this is the proxy statement. And these are the annotations on it. Next page is the salary, so I think you're going to stay tuned. We are on page 10. In determining matters regarding executive officer compensation, other than the president and chief executive officer, who are father and son, or excuse me, who was one and the same person, James Dolan, We review with the chairman, the president, and chief executive officer, the vice chairman, the executive vice presidents, and the independent compensation consultant, the respective areas of authority and responsibility of the various executive officers and the performance and contribution of each to the efforts of the company in meeting the goals. That is incestuous. Our independent compensation consultant has confirmed that compensation paid in 1999 to the named officers is consistent with the company's compensation philosophy and objectives. What is the name of the independent? And why are they so careful not to give you their names? And isn't it obvious that they should give you the name? And isn't it obvious that no matter what the independent compensation consultant says, they're going to get paid what Charles Dolan wants them to get paid? Did you ever see a bigger charade than this? It's bigger than Alice in Wonderland, and it's more cover-up. CEO compensation. Decisions regarding the compensation of the President and Chief Executive Officer, James L. Dolan, Charles Dolan's son, are the responsibility of the Senior Officer Compensation Subcommittee of the Compensation Committee, gobbledygook. James L. Dolan's base salary for 1999 was $950,000. That was his base salary. Now that isn't enough. He has to have bonuses, he has to have incentives, and he has to have his life insurance paid and his other benefits paid. That's not enough, $950,000. Mr. Dolan was awarded a bonus for 1999 of $2 million. All right, so much money has he got so far? $3 million a year, which was significantly greater than his target bonus level. This bonus reflected the company's performance in exceeding virtually all of its plans and budgets for the year. How do we know? We've never seen the books, records, and minutes. How do we know all that? Why don't we see the books, records, and minutes? Because this $3 million comes out of you, the subscribers, and comes out of the shareholders, no dividends. And it goes into James Dolan's pocket. Now we call in a obfuscation called peer group. They go out and they try to justify this as saying, other crooks are getting the same amount of money. So we're crooks, we should get the same amount of money. That's what that's called. And again, it's Mother Goose, fairy tales, and it's propaganda. We need, Proposal 3, independent directors. We need that. You, subscribers, need that. They are desperate to rationalize their license to steal. They steal from you, the public, it hurts the economy, and they steal from the shareholders, no dividends. Deductibility of certain executive compensation. What are they going to do? They've cheated subscribers, they've cheated shareholders. Whom are they going to cheat now? The United States government, the IRS. Deferred income. Don't pay the United States of America the income tax. Wouldn't it be nice? People dream of being rich so they don't have to pay tax. Like that building they have. They have a $30 billion tax abatement on that building they have. The town of Oyster Bay gave them that. See, it's nice to be rich. You don't have to pay taxes. Now, here's the robber's compensation table. Are you ready? You want to read this yourself, or do you want me to read it to you? Can you see it? Well, just in case. Charles F. Dolan, for the year 1999. This is just for 1 year, not for a lifetime, and not for a century, not for a millennium. Charles F. Dolan, Chairman and Director, 1999, He got $900,000 salary. He got $2 million in bonus, and he got $388,721 other compensation. Now, we can't see the books and records and minutes, so we don't know what this other compensation is. But let's see, did you make $389,000 this year? Well, even standing alone, Charles F. Dolan did, but we don't know for what. James L. Dolan, President, Chief Executive Officer, and Director, $950,000 basic salary, $2 million bonus, plus $4,463,681 for other compensation. We have $4 million compensation here to James Dolan, and we don't know for what. We don't know what he did. We know that that $4 million didn't go into reducing subscribers' rates. We know that that $4 million didn't go into dividends for shareholders, don't we? It went into James L. Dolan's pocket. Let me read you those figures again. Add it up. $950,000, even it off to $1 million. $2 million bonus, that's $3 million. And $4,463,681 other compensation. Round that off to $5 million. So what do you get for the year? $8 million. And since we can't see the books, records, and minutes, we don't know for what. Now, William J. Bell, Vice Chairman and Director. $770,000 is a base salary. $1,400,000 is a bonus. And $2,263,128, and they're not going to tell us for what. So what did Mr. William J. Bell take in this year? Well, $1.4 million and $0.7, even that out to $2 million, and another $2.25 million. So he got $4.25 million. And now we got Robert S. Lemley. Robert S. Lemley, are you a Dolan? Are you a Dolan? What relationship do you have to the Dolans? Robert S. Lemley got $625,000 for salary. He got a bonus of $875,000. Last year he got a bonus of $1 million, and the year before he got $1 million. I got a bonus of 1.2. The Dolans must have taken that away from me. All right, let's start again with Lemley. $625,000 basic salary, $875,000 bonus, and $1,825,380 in other compensation, but we're not going to find out what. And then Andrew B. Rosengard, he's a new kid on the block, Executive Vice President, Finance, and Controller. It's nice to have him in your clique. $575,000 basic salary, $900,000 bonus, and $181,565,000. So let's see what Rosengard got. He got $500,000, almost $1 million. So we'll make that $1.5 million, and he got about $1.7 million. Now, hang your heads in shame. Increase subscriber fees. Justify the same. No dividends. Why? Obvious reasons. Fine print is illegal and no dividends. This is a page I showed you before, but did you happen to notice that the fine print is too fine and illegal? Let's see what page 11 is. I should think you would be staggering with that. And we are glad that we are here to tell you about it. And we are glad that the Securities and Exchange Commission is here. If it weren't, this stuff used to be all hidden. But now they have to expose it. And so I'm exposing it to you. Option grants in last fiscal year. I don't know how to figure that out for you, because that's what they want. They want to make it so obscure and so much obfuscation that they don't want you to know what it is. But it's on page 12 of the proxy statement, and Glendora's annotation is, wouldn't you rather be a private company and not have to reveal all this to the public and to the SEC? Aggregated option, SAR, exercises in the last fiscal year. Okay, I've told you the disgrace of those, where they buy the stock for something like they get it for $7 and go out and sell it for 40. They say aggregated option. I say it's aggravated. Glendora would rather be poor and own her own soul. Yes, I would. I would much rather be poor. I am poor, at least I own my soul. Greed is written all over their faces, and that is page 12. And page 13 is long-term incentive plans awards in last fiscal year. Well, you would have to see the books, records, and minutes to see how they arrived at these figures, and you would have to add them all up yourself, but you really don't have to. You know what's going on now. You know what's going on. What about a rich man getting into heaven? About a camel going through the eye of a needle? Glendora says, we want to see the books, records, and minutes and double check these figures. Did you read Glendora's memorandum on the anathema? Your new illegal rules on public access for which you have been sued? Is page 9 that we just read, quote, unquote, good corporate citizenship? You gouge the subscribers and put it into your pocket. You share no dollars with the share owners, no dividends. You still owe Glendora 9% statutory interest on the $350 subpoena money that you stole 3 years ago. Next week, folks, we will resume the proxy statement on page 14. Got to pause now, and we got to tell you some jokes. Folks, did you hear about the Chinese telephone book? The Chinese telephone books had so many wings and so many wongs that everybody was winging the wrong number. And the IRS agent said to Jack, I'm having a problem with some of your medical deductions. And Jack says, why? What's wrong? And the IRS agent said, well, I have trouble justifying $50 to the tooth fairy.
Funds to achieve the personal satisfaction of murdering their enemies. Now, this is the people that are perceived as their enemies. Now, these are people who are mostly in some form of law enforcement. They are the people who follow the same mindset of the people who systematically murdered the Native Americans and went to Africa to kidnap Africans to keep them in this form of in perpetual human slavery. And this, of course, is what makes the death penalty wrong, because it empowers people, a special area on the authority of the state, to kill someone else, irrespective of whether he is innocent or guilty. Now, how do they produce these guilty verdicts? They do it by systematically manipulating the legal process. The legal process, which is inherently conflictual when it comes to the rights of individuals who would challenge the the mainstream authority, especially in the prosecutorial function, are viewed as enemies of the state, of their channel of function of the state. And so as a result, you have people who you have prosecutors, assistant DAs, and judges, and the people who run the prisons, who develop a vested interest in the blood and the murder of the people that they view as challenges to their power and authority to do business in their way. And this, of course, is what is wrong. And we know this because these people are allowed to indiscriminately manufacture evidence, false evidence, and use it and allow it, and the judges allow it to be used and presented to juries, who then, in the framework of the application of the evidence to the findings of the jury, they are then misled into believing that a person is guilty, and when he in fact is not guilty, and he may have been someplace else, but it now becomes these people are now become a part of this illegal, this secret government that uses the law, especially the penal law, to murder innocent people. And of course, this has happened too often. And lately, we have seen it has happened, especially now with the DNA evidence, that they find out that there is no way that the convicted, the wrongfully convicted people could have possibly had anything to do with the falsely generated evidence. They tried to do this with Mr. Simpson, and they tried to frame Mr. O.J. Simpson, but of course, because of the external circumstances there, it worked out to the advantage of Mr. Simpson, whether or not he did that or not, but they still attempted to manufacture a case against him by the manipulations of the glove and the blood and the shoes and so forth and so on. All of these circumstances which are generated freely and willy-nilly without any control over these people, because the judges, the criterion too often for the validity of evidence is someone's opinion. And an opinion cannot be cross-examined. It is not subject to due process of law. And as a result, you get a guilty verdict based upon the opinion of some DA or some cop who thinks he has a case and makes it look good by manufacturing appropriate circumstances.
Gene, it is too often based on lies.
And, and false testimony. Well, that's it. That's it. It's manufactured. That's exactly it. It's based on lies. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Gene, I got your point.
So, if we can do away with the death penalty, we will
absolutely
have done something good.
Absolutely, Gene.
Now, there's one other thing that I have you that has nothing to do with the program. There was a lady, Lori Galgano or something like that.
Yes.
Some time ago, she...
Too many buttons, folks. There's too many buttons to push. These are some interesting calls I thought you would like to hear.
You know that computers are in the Bible?
Computers are in the Bible.
Messages in mailbox 1.
19 messages.
Mailbox 1, Monday, 11:34 a.m.
Hello, Glendora. It's Mark Shukin. Hope all is well. I'm returning your call, but I also wanted to let you know, in case we don't catch up, although I hope we do in the next couple of days, that I'm leaving Cablevision to go back to the West Coast. My family and I are going back home. We've gotten an opportunity to work in Seattle, Washington, so I'm heading out there very quickly, actually, as it turns out. So my last day is the end of this week. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of your enlightenment and input, education, and all that is real. I hope you don't take it any other way, because it's not meant to be. I've learned a lot, and I hope that we've made strides and will continue to with the access opportunity. Tom will certainly be here and in contact, and while nothing's official, he'll certainly play the point while they figure that out. So thank you for everything, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Monday, 11:56 a.m.
Hi, this is Lori from the bank in New York. I was returning Franklin's call. If you want to give me a call back, I'm actually leaving the office. I'll probably be back at around 1 o'clock. Give me a call then if you want to. My number here again is 694-4020. Thank you.
Monday, 12:34 p.m.
Hi, Glendora. It's Jeff from Hempstead, Lincoln. I'll be here till 8:30 tonight if you want to give me a call at 516-483-5820, extension 145. Take care. I hope everything is well.
Monday, 2:06 p.m.
Glendora, Lindy Hatzman calling from Peekskill. Love your joke. Listen, I'm doing well. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting now. I wrote my appeal. I got the response from the Attorney General. I read it once. I threw it in a corner and said, "Philly, I don't want to read that again, but I guess I have to." And then I'm waiting for an oral argument date. So democracy is creeping into this little burg of ours. It's creeping in. It didn't come roaring in, but it is creeping. And your support is always welcome, and it's a big help. And I'm alive and well, so I figured I'd return your call. Talk to you soon, 739-8041. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Monday, 3:05 p.m.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph of South. I've been waiting for somebody just called to say that he ran into some problems, but he'll be on his way. So I'll see you when he comes. Goodbye.
Tuesday, 10 a.m.
Hi, Glendora. It's Jeff Corsello from Channel 18 in Mount Vernon. Returning your message. Sorry I was out Friday and Monday. We have your show scheduled, time slot for 6:30 every Thursday. Just want to let you know, if you need any more information, give me a call back. 6:30 on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Tuesday, 10:07 a.m.
Glennie, it's Lori. It is 10:03 a.m. Tuesday morning. I'm having a problem with the sponsor going to sign. Glenn, would you go down? Could I ask you to go out of your way? I'm so sorry, to the Woodbury station and sign my application to in front of Diane Bennett. They're giving me a hard time. My sponsor, this guy, Bill Funk, has not gone down this morning. I'm really upset, and Diane's not committing my time slot to me, so she's not committing anything. She keeps saying she doesn't have an application, so I'm really starting to get upset about this. I've been in touch with Savvy, and they're telling me that the contract that we signed last year is still valid. I just told that to Diane, and she got a little snippy saying if it was, then she wouldn't have asked me to sign another one. So I'm getting very upset over this. Please get back to me. I'll be editing this afternoon, but please call me if you can. Thanks, honey. Bye.
Tuesday, 5:20 p.m.
Mr. South, the plumber is back. He was working downstairs. Then he had to run out, so he just came back. So can you please open the door? We're waiting outside. Thank you.
Wednesday, 6:57 a.m.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. South. When I come this schedule this afternoon, possibly I'll be cleaning up down there. So if you're not home by then, I'll just let myself in. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Wednesday, 6:32 p.m.
Huh? That's weird.
Thursday, 9:33 a.m.
Reason I'm calling is, one is, of course, our show for this week, and the other is that the address of Lori Galgano, who is a friend of ours on the network, and but they sent, evidently she's using my address as a location for the Bronx broadcasting, to which I have no objection. The only thing is that I have her programming, and I'd like to send it on to her. Okay, thank you.
Thursday, 10:12 a.m.
Good morning, Glendora. It's Jim from BronxNet. I want to apologize for missing you yesterday. They did contact me, but I was in the middle of a live show. They were very short-handed, so I had to step in and help them out with it. I really couldn't tear myself away. They were live until noon. But hopefully my people took care of you. As always, you're welcome to give me a call at 718-960-1180 or 1182.
That's BronxNet, folks. BronxNet.
Weathering
Jim
all
Kearney.
this horrible weather.
He's very nice.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thursday, 12:06 p.m.
Hello, messages for Glendora. This is Shirley Bruno. I am back from vacation, and I'm calling back my messages. So I am in the office. Today is Thursday, and I will be here also tomorrow. The number is 829-3995. Thank you.
Shirley Bruno. Great Net Public Access.
Thursday, 11:31 p.m. Friday, 8:46 p.m.
Huh?
Saturday, 9:12 a.m.
My 364-6486 number, so I'll talk to you later.
That's Gene Crescenzi.
It's your pleasure. Okay, thank you.
Saturday, 1:45 p.m.
That's right now. I just went to the post office to get the postage for Glendora versus Levin.
End of messages. Messages deleted.
Okay. Let's see what's going on at the Huntington Farm.
Okay, how many staffs do you need, Franklin?
One for the eye doctor, and the
You have 15 messages.
15 messages for Huntington.
One message in mailbox 3. Mailbox 1, Wednesday, 2:57 a.m.
Glendora, St. Patrick calling just to let you know that you've got next Tuesday morning for editing time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wednesday,
It is I, Patrick.
7:36 a.m.
Glendora, this is Hill Gardner. I had to call you because I'm watching your public access show on my public access channel. I think that's the first. On 730 QPTV channel 56. Is this the one that I sent in for you? Curious. All right, take care. Good luck to you.
And thank you. And
Wasn't that nice?
Thursday.
That was Hill Gardner watching us on TV.
Thursday, 1:49 a.m. Thursday, 1:55 a.m. Thursday, 1:59 a.m.
This is Michael from Parking Systems returning a page 425-0304. I'm not sure who this is, sir. I'm returning the call.
Thursday, 9:01 a.m.
Would you please take this sick, twisted bastard off the scene?
Saturday, 10:06 a.m. Good evening, Glendora. My name is Stephen Kibit. I live in Yaphank. I'm watching your public access program, and I'm interested in obtaining more information on First Amendment rights. Please forward information to my home address, 76 Raymond, R-A-I-M-O-N-D, Street, Yaphank 11980, or you can email to my website, which is www.sekik.com. I have a renewable energy organization. Thank you. Bye. Saturday, 10:07 a.m. Saturday, 10:10 a.m. Hello, my name is Steve. My phone number is 588-1816. I would like to talk to somebody about this bullshit on public access network. All that. So phone about 588-1816. Saturday, 10:11 a.m. Allows it's Steve, 631-588-1816. Saturday, 10:13 a.m.
This is after the day before.
Saturday, 10:18 a.m.
So it's actually Friday, 10:18 p.m.
Saturday, 10:50 a.m.
10:50 p.m. Friday.
I don't know about that Japanese man.
I know that Japanese man.
Saturday, 10:57 a.m. Hi, yes, the Japanese, that was great. You were awesome. I just wanted to tell you that I watch your show all the time, and everything you do is just fantastic. You're so real and you're so with it. Keep up the good work. I'm really enjoying the time I spend with you when I feel like I spend time with you, and I just wanted to just, say God bless you, and I thank the Lord that I get to watch your show, and you help me out. You bring a lot of things into perspective, and I really appreciate it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
End of messages.
Well, that's everything that happened this week, and some of what happened last week. Keep the courage flaming. We have to fight the evil, and we have to expunge it, and we have to stand up for what is right. We have to be angels. Okay, and we have to help people. Okay, keep your... Here he is, the 1980 Lincoln Yesterday, passed inspection. Hooray, hooray, hooray. You want to see his inspection sticker? He only has about 10 more things to be done to be restored. Here's his inspection signature. He's good until July 1st, 2001. And today, he's going to have his control module put in. You see that third panel? Okay, there's no clock and there's no trip log. You see that pad of buttons there? The trip log tells you your estimated time of arrival. It gives you all kinds of things. He was the first of these great big luxury cars. And another interesting thing about this car is that it's 3 cars. It's a Lincoln, and it's a Continental. See, here's the Continental. And it's a Mark. It's a Mark 6. This was the year that they combined all cars and made it their luxury car. Now, since then, around 1983, they made 3 cars out of this car. They made the Lincoln Town Car, the Lincoln Continental, and the Mark 7. It's a great car. I wish I had strength and a strong wrist, and I could open the hood for you and show you how he's all cleaned up under the hood and all shiny and painted black. He's perfect. As I say, about 10 more things to do. The Wonder Car. In the New York Times this morning, they call that a Lincoln? No way. Bring it, I brought it to Master Mechanics. There's a radio show sponsored by Bronx College on Saturday mornings, and they had these mechanics come together. And that's where I heard about Timothy Cacase, and speaking of Timothy Cacase, there he is. And there goes the Lincoln to the operating table. There he goes, Franklin. Here he comes into the operating table. Into intensive care. Here we are at Cablevision Harrison to hand in the tapes. And there's Franklin made a special effort to get out and talk to Ralph, because Ralph has always been so nice to Franklin, and Franklin likes Ralph. He's a very pleasant person. This is Cablevision Harrison. What comes out of here? The signal for Portchester and Harrison, and a lot of the Cablevision local programming sports comes out of here. This has a long, long history. If you watch the chat with Glendora in 1989 and 88, this is a big battle. This fell into very evil hands, and we rescued it. Ralph keeps this place so nice. This used to be a dump, and they refurbished it. Where Maurice Cunningham is headquartered now. She used to be in Connecticut. Off we go in the 1993 to White Plains Public Act. Nope, I saw a cruiser with flashing lights, but no action.
She's going by.
And this is Darlene Bishop, and she asked me a whole lot of questions about the fire code and about our condominium being responsible, and about the city and about lawsuits, and I told her not to hire a lawyer. That's Darlene and her daughter, and they're going over to White Plains City Hall to the city court about the fire. This is a new paint job, and it looks very, very nice. I have to get up a few stairs here. Just a few stairs. And come up a few stairs.
O que están afrontando, por ejemplo, un desalojo o un juicio de hipoteca. Tenemos fondos para ayudarlos financieramente, para sacarlos de los problemas en que se encuentran.
This is Fred Strauss, and he is the director of White Plains Public Access. The audio board.
Real estate.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And so up the stairs. Up to the 1993 Lincoln into the White Plains Post Office, and this is how our life goes. There you are, 6 floors of EVA, United States Federal Courthouse, White Plains. Bryant, Parkinson. This is where the Al Piro trial is going on. Right now the jury is deliberating. Another crook is Connor. There's probation. Probation was down cellar here. But they cut that out. They realized finally that they were being pretty stupid. Who are those people out there? Having a lunch?
Yeah.
A picnic? Oh, that's something new. Now the...
A lot of interest in
Right, what are these people doing? Having a picnic? They're behind bars anyway. This is the entry in the Al Piro trial, the verdict. We're looking for Charlie Runge. I show you this Gannett. Why didn't he tell the truth about these lawyers? Gannett!
How you doing, Glendora?
Fine, how are you doing?
I'm all right. What's the video camera?
Money spent on litigation.